Hello, my dear students. Hope you all are well. Today, we all are going to learn about chapter 15, that is Indian agriculture. So, in the previous video, we also learn about this chapter in which we discuss about different types of pulses that are gram, arhar, or tur, masoor, or lentil. So, in this class, we are going to discuss about the oil seeds and the sugarcane. So, what are the different types of oil seeds that grown in India and its favorable conditions? So, let's get started. The first leguminous crop that we are discussing here, that is oilseed. Oilseed are mainly grown in the tropical and the subtropical region. So, tropical and subtropical means it is near to the equator, that is 0 to 30 degree is the tropical and 30 to 60 degree is the subtropical latitudes. India has the largest area of the production of the oil seed in the world. That means that among the world, India is the largest producer of oil seed. Now, the oil that is extracted from the seeds of, that means the oil seed, is called vegetable oil, and it is an important item for the Indian food. After this, with the exception of the olive and the palm oil, India can grow all type of oilseeds. So, except olive oil and the palm oil, these two are not grown in India, and all the types of oilseed are grown in India. Now, the oilseeds and their product are also used as raw material. So, what do you mean by raw material? That the material that is needed for making any type of product. So, as the oilseed are used as raw material for making paint, varnish, soap, perfume, lubricant, etc. The residues after the oil is also being used, and that is called oil cake. From that is also used for the cattle feed and the manure. So, the oil cakes, that is the residue of the oil seeds, are used for the cattle feed and the manure in the fields. Now, here we see that Madhya Pradesh is the leading producer of the oilseed in India, and which is followed by Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh. The production of the oilseed has always fallen short of our total need. That means that India is not sufficient for production of oilseed, and thus we have to import oilseeds or their product to meet the requirement of our increasing population. As the population is increasing day by day, the needs are also increasing. So, for that reason, oilseed is not self sufficient in India. For that, oilseed is imported to India. Now, the first oilseed that we are going to learn is groundnut. So, groundnut is the most important oilseed of our country. So, among the oilseed, groundnut is the most important, and which account half of the major oilseed produced in India. So, which means among all the production of the oilseed, groundnut is mainly half of the production. And the groundnut is used as edible oil. Edible oil means that is used for the human consumption. It is also used for the manufacturing of margarine. Margarine means it is a substitute for butter, and the medical emulsion and soap, toilet requisites. The groundnut is eaten raw, roasted, salted, and sweetened. In this way, the groundnut is also eaten. It is not that means that as it is a oil seed, it is not eaten as raw, but ground seed is also eaten as raw and roasted, salted, and sweetened. Oil cake is rich cattle feed. So this oil cake, the oil cake that are produced from the groundnut, it is also rich cattle feed. Now we are going to discuss about the conditions for the growth of the groundnut. So here we know that the oil seeds are grown in the tropical and the subtropical region. Groundnut is also grown in the tropical climate and with the temperature ranging from about 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius with the rainfall of 50 to 80 centimeter. Now the groundnut can be grown both as kharif and rabi crop. So which means kharif crop is the crops that are sown in the monsoon season, and the rabi crop that are sown in the winter season. But 90% of the total area is under kharif crop. Kharif crop means that is summer or monsoon season, the crops that are sown in summer and monsoon season. So here we see that groundnut is mainly a kharif crop, that is 90% of the total area is kharif crop. The condition of frost, so frost means here the precipitation that occurs in the form of ice crystals on the ground. Prolonged drought, continuous rain, stagnant water, these are the conditions that is harmful for the cultivation of groundnut. So these conditions that are frost, prolonged drought, continuous rain, stagnant water is harmful to the production of groundnut. The other conditions that are required for the production of groundnut is the soil type. So what is the type of soil needed for the production of the groundnut is sandy soil and the black soil. Groundnut is mostly grown in June and July, that is it is a monsoonal month. Depending on the monsoon, the groundnut is sown in the month of June and July. It is grown as rotation crop as it is add nitrogen to the soil, which means it is a leguminous crop. We know that we all learning about the leguminous crop which fixes nitrogen to the soil. The crops grown fully in about 4 months. So the time that is needed for the full growth of the groundnut is 4 months, and a dry season is suitable for ripening. Now the crop is harvested in the month of October and November. So we see that as it is sown in the month of June and July, so it needed only 4 months to, that is October to November, the crop is ready to harvest. Now the groundnut kernel, so kernel means the edible part of the nut, can be given about 45% of the oil. So mainly 45% of the oil is getting from the groundnut kernel. So as we know about the condition of the groundnut, let's read about the areas where the production of the groundnuts occur. India is the second largest producer of the groundnut in the world, next only to China. So China is the first producer, next after this India comes second. The progress in the groundnut production mainly depend upon two things. So what are they? The choice of the crop and the weather condition. These are the two factors, the weather condition and the choice of the crop. These are the two factors for the well-grown production of the groundnut. Groundnut is mainly a rain-fed crop, which means it does not needed a very high amount of rainfall, and its yield and production varies according to the distribution of the amount of rainfall. So where the rainfall is sufficient, it grows well in that regions. Now Andhra Pradesh in India, Andhra Pradesh is the largest producer, followed by Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. The total annual production of India is about 5 million ton from 4.7 million hectare of land. So here we see that the yield per hectare is high, and among all the states, Tamil Nadu has the highest yield of about 2400 kgs per hectare. Now let's discuss about the another type of oil seeds, that is mustard. Here we also see that mustard is also an important oil seed of India next to groundnut. And the oil content in mustard is about 35%, which is used for cooking medium, preservation of pickles, lubricant, raw material and toilet goods. So the residues from the mustard oil, which is oil cakes of mustard, is also used for the cattle feed and manure in the fields. Now we are discussing about the conditions that are needed for the growth of mustard. Mustard can grow in a comparatively cooler climate with a temperature of 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. It needed moderate rainfall, that is 50 to 100 centimeter. Annually it needed moderate rainfall, that is 50 to 100 centimeter. Mustard is grown with a rabi crop like wheat or gram. So which means it produced mixed with other crops like rabi crop, that are wheat and gram. The soil type which is needed for the production of the gram is alluvial soil and take about 3 months to mature. So previously we see that groundnut is needed 4 months to mature, whereas mustard can only need 3 months to grow fully. Mustard is sown in the month of October and November and harvested in the month of February and March. Harvesting of mustard is done when the crop turns yellow. So when the crop turns yellow, which means it is fully grown and ready to harvest. Now we are going to read about the production areas where the mustard is produced. So here we see that India is the third largest producer of mustard next to Canada and China. So Canada is first, China is second, and third largest is India. About 90% of the total production come from the Satluj Ganga plain. So in the Ganga plain 90% of the production taken place, and the main producing states are Rajasthan, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar and Punjab. The total production is about 7 million tons from about 6 million hectares. So here the yield per hectare is high, and the highest record of the yield per hectare is from Haryana and Gujarat. Uttar Pradesh is traditional producer of mustard, but it lost the status due to its fall in its own production and also in the increase in the production from the other states. So Uttar Pradesh previously has the traditional producer for the mustard, but now it ranked lows because of its own fall in the own production and all the states are increasing in production from Uttar Pradesh. The next one that we are going to read is soybean. Soybean is also a type of oilseed and a leguminous crop. So here we see that the cultivation of the soybean has gained popularity in India in the recent years. So recently this production is taken place, and soybean is a good source of edible oil and protein. So previously we know that edible oil is the oil that is suitable for human consumption, and from this oil seed we can also get the sufficient amount of protein. It is grown both in Kharif and Rabi season. So that means both Kharif and Rabi season, which means in this monsoon season and in the winter season also. Now we are going to read about the condition that is needed for the soybean. Here we see soybean, that soybean grows well in the area of 15 to 25 degrees Celsius of temperature, and the annual rainfall it is needed for only about 40 to 60 centimeter. And the soil type that is needed here is loamy soil, which can retain moisture. So which can retain moisture means it can hold water in the soil. The soybean plant also need 3 to 4 times irrigation during its growing period. So that means here from these 2 points we see that soybean needed some amount of water for its sufficient growth. As a kharif crop, it is sown in June, that is the month of monsoon, and harvested in October. Now the production areas of soybean. Madhya Pradesh is the largest producer of soybean in India, and it is produce about 8 million tons from 6 million hectare of land. So here we see that the yield per hectare is also high, and the other producing states are Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. Soybean is rich in protein than any leguminous crop. So the other leguminous crop that we read, that some groundnut, mustard, soybean have the highest protein amount from other leguminous crop. Soybean milk is very nutritive, which means it has a sufficient amount of nutrition for the human body. Soybean oil is also used in the cooking, making margarine. So as we know that margarine is substitute of butter, and also the other products that are used, that are made from soybean, are soap, paint, lubricant, printing ink, etc. India produce about 15 million tons of soybean from about 11 hectare of land. So here you also, all over India, the yield per hectare is also high. Now we will discuss about another type of crop, that is sugarcane. Here we see that sugarcane belongs to the bamboo family of the plant, which means it is the origin of sugarcane. And sugarcane is used as raw material for making sugar, gur, and khansari. It is also used in producing the industrial alcohol. So in producing the industrial alcohol, the sugarcane is also used as a raw material, and the residues after the cane is crushed, called bagasse, is used for making paper and fiberwood. As we know that we can make paper from the trees and the sugarcane. So and also the fiberwood is made from the residues of the sugarcane. India is the original home of the sugarcane and has the largest area under sugarcane cultivation. Many land is under the cultivation of sugarcane. India is the second largest producer of sugarcane in the world, next only to Brazil. So which means Brazil is the first producer and India comes the second largest producer in the world. However, the yield per hectare is low when compared to Java, Cuba and Hawaii. So the Java, Cuba and Hawaii can produce more sugarcane than India, which means the yield per hectare in this region is high, and the sugarcane hold an important position among the cash crop. So cash crop means the commercial crop, due to its high value among the cash crop produced in India. So among all the cash crop that are produced in India, sugarcane is held the most important position in the cash crop. Now the conditions for the growth of the sugarcane that are needed for its best yield, that are, sugarcane needs a long grown season of about 10 to 15 months and sometimes even 18 months. So here we see that sugar can take a very long period of time for growing, and depending upon the climatic condition. Now the other conditions, that are, sugarcane being a tropical plant grows well in hot and humid climate with an average temperature of 20 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. So it is mainly grown in the as it is a tropical plant, it is grown well in hot and humid climate and with the average temperature of 20 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius, and this temperature is needed during the growing period. Now, the bright sunshine after rainfall with a temperature of above 20 degrees Celsius increase the juice content in the sugarcane. So, the juice content in the sugarcane is also varies with the temperature and the climate present in that region. The average rainfall that is needed for the cultivation of this crop is 100 centimeter to 150 centimeter. So, high rainfall is needed for the cultivation of sugarcane, and it must be well distributed. As well as it needed high temperature, it also needed to be well distributed. However, sugar can grow well in the irrigated lands too. So here we see that as sugarcane needed high amount of rainfall, it is also can be grown with the help of irrigation. The heavy rainfall result in the low sugar content, while less rainfall produce fibrous crops. So here we see that either heavy or less rainfall can produce. So here we see that either heavy and less rainfall can harm the production of sugarcane, which the heavy rainfall result in the low sugar content, while the less rainfall can produce the fibrous type of crop. The short, cool, dry season during the ripening and the harvesting is ideal for sugarcane. So, which type of weather is prevalent for the cultivation of this type of crop is short, cool, dry season during the time of ripening. The sugarcane need a long frost-free growing season, thus it must be harvested well before frost season. So as we know, it is a frost can harm to any type of crop, and it is also in the case of sugarcane that long frost-free growing season is needed, and frost can causes damage to the sugarcane. So it is harvested well before the frost season. Hot and dry wind are also very harmful to this production. Now, the sugar can grow on a variety of soil. Now, we are going to study about the soil types which is needed for the sugarcane production, such as loam, clay, black cotton soil, reddish loam, etc. But the deep, well-drained, rich loamy soil is ideal for sugarcane farming. So, the deep, well-drained, rich loamy soil is ideal for this farming. The soil should be rich in nitrogen, calcium and phosphorus. So it needs many nutrients for the growth, but the sugar can exhaust the fertility of the soil. So which means it can absorb all the nutrients from the soil. Thus the soil need a heavy doses of manure and fertilizer. So for this farming, the farmers have to put heavy dose of manure and fertilizer in the field. The cheap and enough labor is needed, as most of the work such as sowing, hoeing, weeding, irrigation, cutting, transportation of sugarcane is done manually. So manually all the works are done in this farming. So for that reason, cheap and enough labor is important. Also, with this, cheap and adequate transport is essential, as the harvested sugar cane must be sent to the factory immediately. So why the sugar cane after harvesting it must be sent immediately to the factories? Because the raw sugar cane used in the sugar industries is bulky, and its sugar content reduce in the haulage and the time lag between the ripening and sugar production. So for that reason, it is ideal to set the sugarcane producing industries near to the sugarcane producing field. So as we are known to the conditions that are required for the growth of sugarcane, now we have to learn about the methods that are followed for the sugarcane cultivation in India. So here it is written that sugarcane is a single crop, which means it does not produce with the other crops. The land is prepared and some manure is applied before planting. So previously we know that sugarcane needed much amount of fertilizer, as it absorbs all the fertilizer from the soil. So for that reason, Before planting, some amount of manure is applied to the land, and the planting is begin with the month of February and April. The sowing of the sugarcane is done in the following ways. So now we are going to study about the methods that are followed for the cultivation of the sugarcane. First one is the set method. So new sugarcane in our country is usually planted by taking cutting called set. So the cutting of the sugarcane is called set, and these set are planted for the new sugarcane production. A set is a stalk cutting off 2 or 3 joints. So if it is a sugarcane, then the joints that are present in the sugarcane, so 2 to 3 joints after it is cutted, and it is planted as a set in the field. The set are planted at a distance of about 1.5 to 2.0 meters in a row. These sets are quickly established after a few days, and the buds sprout to form the new stalk. So, very quickly it establishes the new stalks. The cane usually mature in 9 to 10 months. So, this type of cane is mature in about 9 to 10 months, and the mature cane is cut with the help of the sickle. So with the help of the sickle, after 9 to 10 months, the mature cane is being cut, and the stalk must be cut near the ground, as the maximum of the sugarcane is in the base of the stem. So as we know, the main part of the sugarcane is the sugarcane stem. So for that reason, the maximum amount of sugarcane stem is cut off. The sugarcane grown by the set method yield healthier canes. So from this method, healthier canes are being produced. The second method that we are going to read is the rattan method. In the rattan method, the sugarcane is harvested leaving the root intact in the soil. So in this method, after the first cultivation, the harvesting is done by leaving the root intact in the soil, and the rattan is the second or any other successive crop obtained from the root left over in the field from the first crop. So from as the first crop is done, then the second crop is done by the root left over in the field. This method is very popular in India due to its low cost of production, because here low amount of fertilizer and also the labor is needed, but the production decreases each year passing. And the sugarcane is perennial crop, and here the word perennial means the crops that lasted for a long time. Now as we are known to the methods of cultivation, now we are going to read about the production areas where this production of sugar takes place. India is the second largest producer of sugarcane in the world, next only to Brazil. So there has been a dramatic increase in the production of the yield of sugarcane in last 65 years. So in the last 65 years, the production of the sugarcane is increasing. The yield of the sugarcane in India is very low when compared to Peru, Egypt, Indonesia and Brazil, etc. Now we have to know what are the causes for the low yield of the sugarcane in India. Because due to the lack of fertilizer, uncertain weather condition, inadequate irrigation facilities, poor variety of sugarcane, small fragment of land holding and backward method of farming can causes the low yield of sugarcane in India. Now, the three distinct belts of sugarcane cultivation in India are the Satluj Ganga plain from Punjab to Bihar, the black soil belt from eastern slope of Western Ghat from Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu, and the last one is the coastal area of Andhra Pradesh and Krishna River Valley. These are the distinct places. These are the belts. So these are the places where the sugarcane production is taken in a large quantity. The states of India that produce the sugarcane in large quantity are Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Karnataka. Uttar Pradesh is the largest producer of sugarcane in India, and the main producing areas of Uttar Pradesh are Ganga, Yamuna, Doab, Rohilkhand and Trans-Saro area, the western part of Uttar Pradesh, give the highest yield and the largest production of the state. As many as 30 districts of Uttar Pradesh produce sugarcane. In Maharashtra ranks the second largest producer of sugarcane in India, but it lags far behind Uttar Pradesh with the respect of the area and production. So Uttar Pradesh is much larger than in the production and also in the area. Most of the sugarcane is produced on the black lava soil. So in Maharashtra, most of the sugarcane is produced in the black lava type of soil. The recovery of the sugar is high and duration of crushing period is long. Irrigation is widely practiced. So in Maharashtra, it has a long time or the time difference between the ripening and the sugar production. The irrigation is widely practiced in Maharashtra, so which means mainly the sugarcane produced in Maharashtra are depend on irrigation. The third largest producer of sugarcane is Karnataka, and most of the sugar is produced with the help of irrigation. Tamil Nadu gives the highest yield of sugarcane in India. In Bihar, the area under sugarcane has been shifted to wheat cultivation because in Bihar the cultivation of the sugarcane is not suitable. So for that reason, during Green Revolution, it is shifted to wheat cultivation. The other sugarcane producing states are Gujarat, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Rajasthan. So as we know, India has a variety type of climate. So for that reason, the climate of North India is different from the South India. And here we see that the climatic condition of the South India is more favorable for the growth of sugarcane. So now we are going to make a comparison between North India and South Indian for the sugarcane cultivation. The temperature during the summer is very high, that is more than 30 degrees Celsius in North India. As we know, sugarcane needed 20 degree to 27 degree Celsius of temperature, and the South India and the North India also experience the dry scorching wind, which is called as Lu, which causes harm to the sugarcane cultivation. Whereas in South India, the temperature remains below 27 degrees Celsius, which is favorable for the growth of cultivation of sugarcane. During the winter season in North India, the sugarcane can be damaged by extremely cold weather accompanied with the frost. So which means in North India, as we know, the winter is much effective than the South India. So for that reason, North India have a very cold weather which accompanies with the frost, which can causes damage to the sugarcane crop in North India. Whereas in South India, frost does not occur. Due to the favorable climatic condition, the yield of the sugarcane per hectare is more in South India. So here we came to know that South India is more preferable for the cultivation of sugar than North India. So in South India, the yield per hectare is also high. The average land holding is larger and well planned in South India than North India due to cooperative movement. So the average land holding is larger. The land is selected where the cultivation of sugarcane is occur. So in South India, the average land holding means the land holding for the sugarcane cultivation is much larger than compared to North India, and it is also well planned. But in North India, it is not well planned due to the cooperative movement. Now we have to know about the problems of the sugarcane cultivation in India. As we know, as sugarcane is a very sensitive type of crop and which can be easily harmed by any type of climatic changes. Now the problems are the sugar can reduce the soil fertility. As we know, it absorbs the all type of nutrients from the soil. So here it is needed a large amount of manure and the chemical fertilizer. The sugar can is a weight loss. Sugar cane is a weight losing commodity that cannot bear the high cost of transport. Weight loss commodity means the product that we get from the sugar cane is much less than its weight. So for that reason, it cannot bear the high cost of transport. The next problem is only one crop of sugar cane can be produced in 1 year. So as we know, it is a single type of crop. It cannot produce with the other crop. The total value is less than that of the 2-grain crop in the year. So in a land, if we grow 2 type of crops in a year, so that gets a more profit than 1 type of crop. Sugar cane is a perishable commodity, which means it decays very quickly. It should be taken immediately after harvest to the crushing center or the sugar mill. Another problem is the adequate and the timely irrigation facilities are not available to the farmer. As we know, the condition of the farmer in India is very poor, so many farmers does not get the facilities of irrigation timely. Large sugarcane plantation cannot be developed due to the poor land reforms. Small farms are uneconomical. So this is an important point, that large sugarcane plantation cannot be developed due to the poor land reform. Poor land reform means that large amount of fertilizer is needed to maintain the large sugarcane plantation, but whereas the small farms are uneconomical. But if we produce a sugar cane in a small farm, so that is very uneconomical. That means it does not create the profit that is needed. The price of the sugar cane is based on the weight rather on the basis of the quality or amount of the sugar. The price, which means the price that is getted from the market, the price which is getted from the market is based on the weight of the sugar cane, not it is depending upon the quality and the amount of the sugar cane. So these are the major disadvantages or problems of growing sugar cane. So here we covered the chapter 15, that is about the Indian agriculture, where we discuss about the topics of pulses, oilseed and sugarcane. And that's all for today. Thank you.